Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text number 33. Prathapya nishrutya dhananjayoditam Nasham yadunam bhagavad-gatim chatam Ekanta bhaktya bhagavad-yadhokshaje Niveshitatmo pararama samsrute. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Kunti, after overhearing Arjuna's telling of the end of the Yadu dynasty and disappearance of Lord Krishna, engaged in the devotional service of the transcendental personality of Godhead with full attention, and thus gained release from the course of material existence. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The setting of the sun does not mean the end of the sun. It means that the sun is out of our sight. Similarly, the end of the mission of the Lord on a particular planet or universe only means that He is out of our sight. The end of the Yadu dynasty also does not mean that it is annihilated. It disappears along with the Lord out of our sight. As Maharaj Yudhishthira decided to prepare to go back to Godhead, so also Kunti decided, and thus she fully engaged herself in the transcendental devotional service of the Lord, which guarantees one a passport for going back to Godhead after quitting this present material body. The beginning of devotional service to the Lord is the beginning of spiritualizing the present body, and thus an unalloyed devotee of the Lord loses all material contact in the present body. The abode of the Lord is not a myth, as is thought by the unbelievers or ignorant people, but one cannot reach there by any material means, like a Sputnik or space capsule. But one can certainly reach there after leaving this present body, and one must prepare himself to go back to Godhead by practicing devotional service. That guarantees a passport for going back to Godhead, and Kunti adopted it. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So in this part of the Bhagavatam, we are reading about the disappearance of the Lord Sri Krishna, and how the Pandavas, his great devotees and Pandavas, reacted to that fact of the Lord's disappearance. We have read how Arjuna was sent by Yudhishthira from Hastinapur to go to Dwaraka and find out what has happened. And Arjuna did not return for a long time. He was waiting. Yudhishthira was waiting. And Yudhishthira started observing ill omens. And he was very worried. What has happened to the Lord? Why Arjuna has not come back? You can imagine, this is 5,000 years ago. The communication, you cannot make a phone call or any such thing. So Yudhishthira was anxiously waiting. And after a long time, Arjuna returned and he was completely downcast. He met Yudhishthira in the palace But he was so overwhelmed with grief, he couldn't speak. And Yudhishthira encouraged him, please tell what has happened. Did anything go wrong with you? Were you defeated? Because they are Kshatriyas, for them defeat, victory is a big thing. Were you defeated by some unqualified people? What happened? Please tell. And then after a great deal of collecting himself, Arjuna spoke and said, Krishna has left this world. So you can imagine, for the devotees, Krishna is their life and soul. And Pandavas were such great devotees. They lived only to do Krishna's work. They lived only to execute the Lord's mission. And they took all kinds of risks in their life to serve the Lord. And that Supreme Lord has wound up his Leela and went back to the spiritual abode. And so it was an overwhelming, very deeply saddening moment for the Pandavas. So all this was narrated by Arjuna. So that's why it is said, Dhananjaya uditam. Dhananjayo uditam. Dhananjaya spoke about all these things. And when Dhananjaya was speaking, it must have been in the palace with all Pandavas and many other important people around. And Prutha api anushrutya. Kunti must have been nearby, and she heard Dhananjaya uditam anushrutya. Prutha api. Kunti also. Prutha is Kunti. That's how Arjuna's another name is Partha. Prutha putra Partha. And what did she hear? She heard about Nasham Yaduna, the annihilation of the Yadu dynasty. Nasham Yadunam Bhagavat Gatim Cha Tham. Bhagavat Gatim Cha, and disappearance of the Lord. Here Gati refers to disappearance. Bhagavat Gatim Cha Tham. And so what did she do? Ekanta bhaktya bhagavatya dhokshaje. She began, or she undertook, ekanta bhakti, undivided, unalloyed devotion to the Lord. Bhagavati, unto the Lord, adhokshaje. Vedavyasa is immediately reminding us, when we talk about Bhagavat Gatim, don't think it is like our Gatim, our death. This is of the Lord who is Adhokshaje, Adhokshaja. Adhokshaja means transcendental. So in other words, Krishna is not a member of this society, of this material world. He is transcendental to this world. This is one of the important things that we have to recognize, we have to understand about Krishna. Krishna is not an ordinary person like us. He is a person, but he is not an ordinary person like us. He is Adhokshaja. And Adhokshaja, Aksha, Ja. Ja means born out of, generated. Like Pankaja refers to a lotus. Pankaja. Ambuja refers to lotus. Ambu means water. Ja means born out of water. What is born out of water is a lotus generally. It can also refer to a fish, but generally. So in the same way, Ja means general. Aksha Ja means what is born out of or generated out of senses. Aksha is eyes. eyes and other. We have 5 senses, knowledge acquiring senses. We have 5 working senses. Through these senses, we interact in this world and get to know about this world and understand this world and develop an understanding of this world. So that's how we gather knowledge and understanding, and that's called akshaja jnana. And adhokshaja means one who transcends that all knowledge that we can acquire with material senses and sense perception, because he is beyond this material existence. This is exactly what Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita also. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma na iti mameti sorjun. When does Krishna talk about this one? He talks about this in the context of the famous verses of the Gita. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapan. So famous verses of the Gita that about Krishna's appearance. At that time, Krishna is telling Arjuna, my appearance and my activities are divya. So divya is another word like adhokshaja, akshaja, adhaha. Meaning I'm not an ordinary human being, not a mortal. I am divya. I am beyond this material existence. So this is a very, very fundamental thing in Krishna consciousness we must understand. So much so, Krishna is saying, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha. Evam yo veti tattvataha veti. One who understands this truth, the truth about Krishna's personality, truth about Krishna's birth, truth about Krishna's activities. These are transcendental. So, very often we come across, as devotees, we go and meet donors and donors' homes and like that. Many times, I've observed this last 30 years, it has not changed. I think it will remain for a long time to come also. Common people, they are of course some kind of devotees, common people who don't have very good understanding of spiritual topics, and they receive us in their homes and donors, and then they'll say, Swamiji or Prabhuji, please wait, I will show you our Krishna of our family. And they'll bring one small grandchild or some boy, and they say, this is our Krishna. Or you can imagine, we will show you our Radha of our family. They have got a small child, daughter or something. And that child will come crying and then something, nose leaking. So, and then we devotees, we think, oh my God, this is not Krishna. Krishna is transcendental. He's Divya Purusha. He's not an ordinary, mundane person. Why we become very uncomfortable when we hear that one, because Krishna is we know Srila Prabhupada has taught, Krishna is a transcendental personality. He's not a nose leaking and sweating and all the imperfections of a material body that we have, that we see. He's not that kind of a personality. He's a Divya Purusha. He's Adhokshaja. He doesn't belong to, he's beyond this material creation. He's beyond this material existence. So, Ekanta Bhaktya Bhagavatya Dhokshaje Niveshitatma, Niveshita, Atma Niveshita. Fix, Niveshana means to fix. In this way, Kunti fixed her mind. Niveshitatma, fixed her mind, fixed herself. Atma can mean any of these word meanings, so you can take any of those senses. With full attention, niveshitatma. And niveshitatma, and by doing that, what did she achieve by niveshitatma? Upararama samsrite. Upararama. Upararama means to cease, to terminate. Samsrite. Samsrite means the chain of material existence. Our existence in the material world, this is known as samsriti. We are caught up. We may die, we'll again be born. And again be born, we will go through the life cycle of various kinds of experiences. And again we die. And then again we take birth. This is how the spirit soul is caught up. This is called samsrite. And she got released from samsrite. This is the import of the Vedic literature, of the Shastra, that by doing this, she became released. Actually, Prabhupada explains this in an interesting way. Now, this is about Nasham Yadunam Bhagavad Gatim. This is the ending of Yadu dynasty and Bhagavad Gatim and the Lord disappearing. So one may ask, because Bhagavatyat, Ekanta Bhagavati, Ekanta Bhaktya Bhagavatya Thokshache. Bhaktya, always Prabhupada translated as devotional service. He made it a verb, not a noun. Bhakti is about activity. It's about devotional activity. There has to be, if you have devotion to the Lord, you must express it in your activity. It's not that something that's in my heart and I feel for the Lord, but my action, I just go on with whatever I want to do. No, it has to manifest in our activities. So here, after hearing the Lord had disappeared from this world, Kunti became even more serious and applied her mind, fixed her mind in rendering service to Krishna. But where is Krishna? Krishna is already gone, no? No. Krishna's presence, just because Brahma Gatim, Bhagavad Gatim doesn't mean Krishna is gone. That's why Prabhupada explains Krishna's existence, Krishna's presence is of two kinds, prakata and aprakata. Both are Krishna's presence, not Krishna's absence. Not one is presence and the other is absence. No, both are presence of Krishna of two kinds. One is called prakata presence, manifest presence. When Krishna was here 5,000 years ago, everyone could see him. He could be seen easily. And then, at a certain point of time, he became aprakata. He was not seen. Actually, Prabhupada also explains, many people saw Krishna 5,000 years back when he was here. But not everybody understood Krishna. Not everyone understood who they were seeing. Kamsa saw the potency of Krishna killing Chanura, Mushtika, big wrestlers, young boy, they were 16 years old, knocking them off. And the big wrestlers, they were the biggest wrestlers, they could just, that was their plan. They'll just crush Krishna and Balaram to death. That was the plan. Because young boys, after all, you can just, big, massive, big body, you can just crush. That was Kamsa's plan. But something else happened. Krishna crushed them. And they lost their lives. And Kamsa was watching that. Still, he didn't understand who is Krishna. That's why it's not so important to see Krishna, it's more important to hear about Krishna, because we will not understand Krishna by seeing Him, we will understand Krishna by hearing about Him. This is one of the important things that we learn in spiritual life from Srila Prabhupada. We should not be so anxious. People ask, can you show me God? Even if we show God, do we have the eyes to see? Do we have the qualification to see God? This is a common question, right? People ask, can you show me God? Have you seen God? These kind of things we also encounter in some occasions. So Prabhupada answered this question in many different ways. Once Prabhupada was in the temple hall and somebody asked the question, have you seen God? Prabhupada said, yes, see. You can also see. He showed the deities. And so yes, we are seeing Krishna. So sometimes Prabhupada gave this kind of answer. Other occasions, Prabhupada gave the little more, this kind of philosophical answer. Do you have the qualifications to see God? Do you have the eyes to see God? Our eyes are limited. Our senses are limited. They can't see everything. Our senses cannot perceive everything. Like for instance, in this room, somebody's mobile is ringing. It's because there are radio frequency waves here. Our eyes cannot see. It's a reality. There are radio frequency waves. There are electromagnetic waves. That's why that mobile was ringing. Another one. So, we cannot see. Where is the radio waves? We cannot see. So, our eyes can't see everything. Everything of this material world. If that radio waves is not of Adhokshajar, of another world or anything. It's very much part of this world. Even this world, we see only little through our senses. So how can we say, I must be able to see? So, this is another argument that Prabhupada would give when people asked him, have you seen God? Are you seen God? Can you show me God? These kind of questions. Another thing that Prabhupada said, very intelligent answers these are. If you think about it, just see. Prabhupada said, if you ask the question, have you seen God? And if you ask me the question, have you seen God? I have to just give a reply, yes or no. If I say yes, how does that benefit you? You just have to accept my authority. If I say no, then you and I are same, so still it has no benefit. So, Prabhupada said, a more intelligent question is to know what are the symptoms of a person who has seen God. If I know that, then I can observe somebody and I can conclude for myself whether this person has seen God or not. You see? So, Prabhupada explains, just like a rich man is known by his symptoms. There are symptoms of a rich man. There are symptoms of a deceased man. There are symptoms of a healthy man. So if we know the symptoms of a rich man, of a deceased man, of a healthy man, we can determine, we can decide for ourselves somebody is rich or poor and so on. We don't have to ask, are you healthy? Are you rich? You see? So we can find out if we know the symptoms of a rich man. If he says, yes, I'm a very rich man, and then we see him walk out, and then he goes to the parking, he is taking one cycle, rickety cycle, and then he is going, then we can conclude what kind of a rich man he is. If we know the symptoms. Right? So, in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks this question. Sthita pragnasya ka bhasha, samadhisthasya keshava, sthita dhir kim prabhasheta, kim asita vrajeta kim. Arjuna's asking very practical question. What are the symptoms of a self-realized person? Sthita pragnasya ka bhasha. What are the symptoms? What are the characteristics of a person who has seen God? Sthita pragnasya ka bhasha. Samadhisthasya keshava. Samadhistha. He is situated in samadhi. Sthitadhi kim prabhasheta. One who is sthitadhi, one whose intelligence, one whose consciousness is fixed. Kim prabhasheta. How does he speak? Kim asita. How does he sit? Vrajeta kim. How does he walk? Very observable, practical symptoms Arjuna is asking. So that if we know the answers to this, we can find out whether somebody is sthita prajna or not. Somebody is very advanced in spiritual life or not. Somebody who has seen God or not. Another time Prabhupada said, to answer to this question, have you seen God? The symptom of somebody who has seen God is that he is no more interested in chasing material pleasures. Because he has understood the spiritual, transcendental bliss of seeing God or experiencing God, and he won't chase any of the material pleasures. Another example, another kind of a response Prabhupada gave when someone asked, have you seen God? Prabhupada said, okay, something slipped my mind. I was planning to. So anyway, the point is that Kunti began to render or continued. She was already a devotee with ekantataha bhakti. Ekantataha bhakti means without any distraction. Because Krishna's presence is still there, but he has become aprakat. And the example that Prabhupada gives in the purport is the sun. Sometimes the sun is prakata for us, and in the night the sun becomes aprakata. We cannot see, but we know sun is not ended. Sun is still present. So, Krishna is present, sun is present in some other part of the planet. If we fly to some other city in the night, we'll be able to see sun there. So in the same way, Krishna's presence became aprakata. That's why the Bhagavatam is reminding, ekanta bhaktya bhagavatya dhokshache niveshitatma upararama samsrute. And in this way, she put an end to her material existence, cycle of birth and death. So, it's important to hear about Krishna. Otherwise, we will not understand Krishna. Many people saw Krishna. And we must hear about Krishna from proper sources. If we don't hear about Krishna from proper sources, it will not bring about the same kind of changes that is expected. Prabhupada sometimes used to say, so many Bhagavad Gitas were published before Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. We know that. About nearly 200 years ago, one Westerner, Charles Whitkins, was the first person to translate Bhagavad Gita from Sanskrit to English. That was the first version, nearly 200 years ago. Charles Whitkins was a Westerner. He was a Sanskrit scholar. But he had no achar of a Vedic practitioner. He must have been eating non-vegetarian and smoking, drinking, and he is translating Bhagavad Gita. That is not the way to understand Bhagavad Gita from such scholars. If we don't hear about Krishna, Prabhupada says another thing. If we hear about Krishna from a devotee properly, we will be able to feel the presence of the Lord in the deity. If we don't hear, we will not know the presence of the Lord in the deity. And Prabhupada says, in our temple, in our country, so many temples are there. Most of them are dilapidated, neglected, because along with the temple worship, there was no hearing about Krishna. If there is no hearing about Krishna, we will not feel the presence of the Lord. Otherwise, Krishna is present in the temples. Even in a dilapidated temple, Krishna is present. Because the process of hearing has not been cultivated, people begin to neglect. People think that many other important things are there in life. So, this is what has happened. And we are all here. I'm sure most of you have participated in book distribution, marathon. And Prabhupada's book distribution is to facilitate people to know about Krishna from a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes Prabhupada was seen reading his own books. In fact, Prabhupada would sit for 2 hours, read the full, sometimes a new published Bhagavatam was given to him, and he would read, in next 2 hours he would complete the full Bhagavatam. So the devotees were surprised. Once in Bombay, Prabhupada did that. He was reading his own books. And so one of the devotees asked, Prabhupada, you wrote those books. Why are you reading? We all read because, we need to read, and otherwise we'll forget Krishna. So Prabhupada said, Prabhupada used to dictate. You're all familiar with that. Early, the first canto of the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada had typed. When he got that published, even the second canto, Prabhupada had typed the manuscript. When he went to America, he not only took the first canto, 3 volumes published, he carried with him the manuscript. He was hoping, something may come, money he may get to publish the second canto of the Bhagavatam. So he had carried with him the manuscript, typed manuscript. And you should also know, Prabhupada did not know typing like, a typist would type. He would have a typewriter, with his finger he would be typing. Like that. He had entire Bhagavatam first canto, entire second canto, Prabhupada had prepared the manuscript like this. It's very painstaking, isn't it? So like that, Prabhupada had prepared the manuscript and carried with him. And later on, as ISKCON began to grow, devotees got him a dictaphone, and very quickly Prabhupada started using the dictaphone, and book production became very fast. Book writing became very fast. So Prabhupada would, you're all aware, I guess, Prabhupada would sleep at about 10 o'clock in the night. And by midnight he would wake up, just about 2 hours of sleep. At midnight he would wake up, and all the other devotees, everybody is sleeping. The whole temple, everyone is still. He would have a night lamp, and he would sit at the desk. He would have the Bhagavatam, and he would turn on the dictaphone, reading shloka by shloka. He would also he would carry with him one multi-commentary volume. There was one published, I don't know who the publisher was. It had about 10 commentaries on the Bhagavatam. All the Sridhar Swami's commentary, the oldest commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, and Rupa Goswami's, Jiva Goswami's explanations. So like that, all these different commentaries were there in one book. from the Madhva line, Veera Raghava Acharya from Ramanuja line. All the different commentaries were there, one after the other. It's a rare edition. So Prabhupada would carry that everywhere. So he would read the commentaries of different acharyas for every verse. And then he would turn on the dictaphone and make the translation and write the purports. Almost word by word, sentence by sentence, very slowly, carefully, thinking, thoughtfully, composing these purports. So, and this would go on till 5 a.m. Just see. Every night Prabhupada would do this. That's how 70 books came out. The entire Bhagavatam, almost 10th canto, 13th chapter. Entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, entire Gita, Ishopanishad, and many other books. So Prabhupada wrote his books like this in the middle of the night, at that advanced age, traveling around the world. And when you travel around the world, jet lag, and Prabhupada would not be disturbed by any of those things. He would go to the new country, a new time zone, and adapt himself to that time zone and continue his work normally. His secretaries would be young secretaries. They would be not able to cope with that. Next 10 hours, 12 hours, they are sleeping. Prabhupada is up, he's gone to the temple, he's giving class, he's having prasadam, he's meeting guests, and then he's doing the translation in the night. And then after some 12 hours of sleep, the devotee will wake up, oh, Prabhupada is already doing his work. So that's how Srila Prabhupada was. And so Prabhupada's reply was, in the night when I sit to translate, Krishna comes and dictates the words that I speak. And that's what I record into the dictaphone. And so these books are not composed by me. These are written by Krishna. And hence even I read. And when I read, even I understand newer and newer things. So, Srila Prabhupada's books are very, very precious. Very, very special. I'll just read one more verse from the Bhagavatam, in another part of the Bhagavatam, about words spoken by a pure devotee. Prabhupada, he would speak these words, and the words that he was speaking were captured in a dictaphone and has become the books. Right? So let's see what Bhagavatam says about this subject. This is Prithu Maharaj in the 4th canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. Sa uttama shloka mahan mukhachuto. Sa uttama shloka mahat mukhachuto. Mahat mukha. Mahat refers to great devotees. Uttama shloka mahat mukhachuto. Mukha means lips. It can mean the face. It can mean lips. It can mean both according to the context. Mahat mukha. And the lips of the great devotees. Chuta. Chuta means to fall. That's why Achyuta means one who never falls down. That's Krishna. Krishna's position is transcendental. Even when he comes to the material world, he does not fall down. He still retains his transcendental position. That's why he is known as Achyuta. He can be in any kind of existence. He will still be transcendental. He retains his transcendental position. So that's why he is known as Achyuta. Chuta means to fall, or words which come out. Mukhachuta means words which come out of the lips of a pure devotee. Sa uttama shloka mahan mukhachuto bhavat padham bhoja Bhavat, unto the Lord. Prithu Maharaj is referring to the Lord. Bhavataha padam bhoja, your lotus feet. Padam bhoja sudha kananilaha. Sudha means nectar. Right? Padam bhoja sudha, the nectar of your lotus feet. Kana means small particles. Kana anilaha means a soothing breeze. Right. Thank you. Okay. Kana anilaha. Smrutim punar vismruta tattva vartmanam. Smrutim punaha. The effect of what happens is, the Bhagavatam is saying, when the pure devotees speak the words about Uttama Shloka, about Krishna, glorifying the Lord, their words touch the saffron particles on the lotus feet of the Lord. So that's the breeze that comes out, or from the words of a devotee. It's actually blowing over the saffron particles of the Lord's lotus feet. And it has the ability to smriti punaha. It has the ability to awaken our remembrance of the Lord. Vismruta tattva vartmanam. Vismruta tattva. Tattva means the truth, which we have become vismruta. We have become forgetful. Vartmanam, on the path of reviving smritim, reviving the recollection, remembering of our forgotten relationship with the Lord. Kuyoginam, for people who are misunderstood, like us. Kuyogi means somebody who is misunderstood. Na vitharati alam varaihi. So Prithu Maharaj is saying, I don't want any other alam varaihi, I don't want any other benediction. I just want to hear the glorification of the Lord. I'll read the translation. My dear Lord, you are glorified by selected verses uttered by great personalities. You are glorified by selected verses, Uttama Shloka, uttered by great personalities. Mahat Mukha Chutaha. Such glorification of your lotus feet is just like saffron particles. Padam bhoja sudha khana. When the transcendental vibration, anilaha, from the mouths of great devotees, mahat mukha chutaha, carries the aroma of the saffron dust, kana anilaha, sudha kana anilaha, saffron dust of your lotus feet, the forgetful living entity gradually remembers his eternal relationship with you. Smrutihi punaha vismruta tattva vartmanaha. Devotees thus gradually come to the right conclusion about the value of life. Tattva, the real value of life. My dear Lord, I therefore do not need any other benediction but the opportunity to hear from the mouth of your pure devotee. I'll read a small portion of the purport. It is explained in the previous verse that one has to hear glorification of the Lord from the mouth of a pure devotee. This is further explained here. The transcendental vibration from the mouth of a pure devotee is so powerful that it can revive the living entity's memory of his eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In our material existence, under the influence of the illusory Maya, we have almost forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord, exactly like a man sleeping very deeply who forgets his duties. In the Vedas, it is said that every one of us is sleeping under the influence of Maya. We must get up from this slumber and engage in the right service, for thus we can properly utilize the facility of human form of life. As expressed in a song by Thakur Bhaktivedanta, Lord Chaitanya says, Jeev jago, wake up, Wake up, living entity. The Lord asks every sleeping living entity to get up and engage in devotional service so that his mission in this human form of life may be fulfilled. This awakening voice comes through the mouth of a pure devotee. A pure devotee always engages in the service of the Lord, taking shelter of his lotus feet, and therefore he has a direct connection with the saffron mercy particles. See, beautiful language, Prabhupada's language. The saffron mercy particles that are strewn over the lotus feet of the Lord. Although when a pure devotee speaks, the articulation of his voice may resemble the sound of this material sky, the voice is spiritually very powerful because it touches the particles of saffron dust on the lotus feet of the Lord. As soon as a sleeping living entity hears the powerful voice emanating from the mouth of a pure devotee, he immediately remembers his eternal relationship with the Lord, although up until that moment he had forgotten everything. For a conditioned soul, therefore, it's very important to hear from the mouth of a pure devotee who is fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord without any material desire, speculative knowledge, or contamination of the modes of material nature. Every one of us is kuyogi because we have engaged in the service of this material world, forgetting our eternal relationship with the Lord as his eternal loving servants. It's our duty to rise from the kuyoga platform to become suyogi. Perfect mystics. The process of hearing from a pure devotee is recommended in all Vedic scriptures, especially by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One may stay in his position of life. It does not matter what it is. One can be a businessman, one can be a housewife, one can be doing profession, whatever, it does not matter. One may stay in his position of life, it does not matter what it is. But if one hears from the mouth of a pure devotee, he gradually comes to the understanding of his relationship with the Lord and thus engages in his loving service and his life becomes completely perfect. Therefore, this process of hearing from the mouth of a pure devotee is very important for making progress in the line of spiritual understanding. And those words spoken by the pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada were recorded and became the books. So it's a great opportunity that we have these books which have which have touched the saffron particles on the lotus feet of the Lord. And that way Prabhupada has brought suyoga for us, good fortune for us. And by giving these books to others, we can bring suyoga for others also. That's the importance of Srila Prabhupada's books. That's the importance of reading Prabhupada's books. That's the importance of giving Srila Prabhupada's books to others. I'll stop here, I'll not take any more time. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Chandra ki, Shri Nitai Gauranga ki, Shri Krishna Balarama ki, Shri Srinivasa Govinda ki, Shri Rajadi Raja Govinda ki, Prahalada Narsimha Dev ki, Nitai Go Premanande Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna. So, a warm welcome to all the devotees for Srila Prabhupada's book marathon, closing ceremony and prize distribution ceremony. I thank Sri Chanchalapati Prabhu for presiding over the closing ceremony and for his inspiring words that we heard just now on Srila Prabhupada books. As Prabhu was mentioning that Srila Prabhupada would wake up at 12 midnight and would translate his books till 4 a.m. And Prabhupada would say that when one book is published, I think I have conquered an empire. So try to publish as many books as possible, and that will enhance the beauty and prestige of our movement. In another occasion, Srila Prabhupada said that whenever there is any publication in any language, it enlivens me 100 times. So these are the words that Prabhupada said And so now, we started this book marathon on the 5th of December, and it went on till the last week, till 13th of Feb. And I will be presenting some statistics that all our devotees, all the different books and the different devotees who have distributed these books in the last 2 months. So to give a comparative figure, over the last 5 years, of course, last year was a COVID year and this year was also a COVID year. So let's see how our teams have done in the last 2 years. So 2017, about 67 teams participated with 496 participants. And 2018 was like that, followed by 2019. And then in 2020, it was the COVID year. We had 43 teams with 279 participants. And this year, we have 52 teams participating, which is 9 teams more than last year, with 405 devotees participating, which is about 126 devotees more than last year. So the Bhagavad Gita books that were distributed, this is by all the devotees here who have participated in the marathon. A total of 22,615 Bhagavad Gitas were distributed. And if you see, the total number of Gitas in Kannada language is more than 50. Gitas in Kannada language is more than 50%. 13,534 Kannada Bhagavad Gitas and 22 overall. This slide is about all the books that all of you have distributed. So Bhagavad Gita was 22,000, and you can see Mahabook is 27, that includes Bhagavad Gita. So the total number of books that we have distributed this year is 39,095 vis-a-vis 22,000 books last year, which is a 70% increase from last year. Then this score talks about the Bhagavad Gita that was distributed not only by the marathon teams, all of you, but also the Gita counter and the external and online sales. So these are the total number of Bhagavad Gitas distributed during the marathon period. And that is 45,277. Last year, during the marathon period, a total of 26,351 books were distributed, and this year is 45,000, up by 72%. And now this is all books put together by all the teams during the marathon time, and that number stands at 85,831 books in total. Last year, this figure was 46,340, and so this year it's been an 85% increase from previous year. So this is the comparison with regard to the total number of points. If you see the figures in red, last year, 2020, the table at the bottom, there was a total distribution of 82.86 lakhs of point, and this year it is 144.28 lakh point, which is about 74% increase than last year. It's very interesting to note that last year we were in the COVID phase 2. Am I right? Yes. And this year we were in COVID phase 3, which was a higher wave. So as the wave went higher, our wave of book distribution also went higher. It didn't come down. This is on all the Srila Prabhupada Leela books distributed, and last year we had distributed 180 Srila Prabhupada Leela books. These are different Srila Prabhupada Leela books. These are all biographies of Prabhupada, memories of Prabhupada as recollected by different devotees. So this year we have distributed 212 biographies of Srila Prabhupada. 17% increase. A few highlights. This year, the total number of Bhagavad Gitas that was sold on Flipkart was 1,407. So Flipkart did a reasonably good sale. Amazon was, of course, 57 only. And adding to these two, which is 1,464, we also had a Srila Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita as it is website, where our devotees, all of you, have also sold books online, and that number is at about 800. So about a total of 2,500 books were sold online. So as I was mentioning, excellent performance by all the teams despite the COVID situation. COVID was not a deterrent. All of you went out and did it very well. And this time due to COVID, we hadn't planned any outside events due to the government regulations, but still the figures were very nice. And initially we had started with a plan of about 40% higher we must do this year, but then we have all ended up doing 72% higher than last year. Congratulations to all the teams. So now coming to the results, score. Of course, the score is that everyone is a winner. Anyone who has not even distributed a book but gone out and made an effort to distribute a book is recognized by Srila Prabhupada. And he is a winner because Prabhupada has seen that this devotee of mine has actually put in an effort to distribute books. All of us present here have put in some effort, and in that sense, all of us are winners. So congratulations to everyone. But nevertheless, because it was a competition, so there were about... how many teams? So there were many teams who participated, about 52 teams participated altogether. So these are the top 5 participants, the top 5 teams. So coming from the 5th position, as I announce the names, I request the devotees to please come up from this side, collect your mementos from Sri Chanchalapati Prabhu, and then you can exit from between that space that you see between Prabhu and please help Chanchalapati Prabhu. Yeah, you may exit behind Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. So the 5th position goes to Team Chaitanya family with the team leader Panaga Shayana Prabhu, and they have done a total of 4,94,510 points. Request Panaga Shayana Prabhu along with his team members to please come up on stage and receive your prizes. Narakesri Prabhu, Bharat Praya Prabhu, Nilambara Balram Prabhu, Arun, Harsharaj Sanjeev, Shrikant Gotapu, Tarun Kumar, and Deva Rishi Trichan. Please come up. Please come up from this side, yeah. Come. Next, fourth. Congratulations once again to Team Chaitanya. The next team, fourth position, is team named Panchajanya with team leader Kirti Krishna Prabhu, and they have done a total of 7,58,315 points. And the team members, please come up on stage. Brahmananda Prabhu, Shri Purandara Prabhu, Srinivas Prabhu, Ashita Prabhu, Pandrinatha Prabhu, Bhargavi Devi Mataji, Nalini Rani, and Srimati Sita Lakshmi Mataji. A round of applause for Panchajanya team. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. The third prize goes to Team Gaurahari. This is a folk team, our folk boys team, and the team leader Vishnu Duta Prabhu. Please come up on stage. They have done a total of 9,05,570 points, and team members Kuru Nandan Prabhu, Abhishek, Madhura Nimai Prabhu, Mitang Dasondi, Nihal, Lokamangal Prabhu, Sujita Krishna Prabhu, and Mithilesh Prabhus. He is a devotee. You see him in cap. He is Bhakta Abhishek, who was a folk boy and then joined while the book marathon was on. He joined the ashram. Photograph. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Second prize goes to Team Jai Jagannath with team leader Abhirama Prabhu. They have done a total of 9,93,855 points. The last team was about 9 lakh. And the team members are Arun Dutt, Pankaj Verma, Achyutananda Prabhu, Sanath Prabhu, Alagappan, Ashwin, Kiran Kumar and Chandrasekhar. Abhiram Prabhu, please come up on stage. Hare Krishna Pankaj ji. Hi. Applause for them, please. They have sold books worth almost 10 lakh in this book marathon. Abhiram Prabhu isn't here. A round of applause for them. Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Prabhupada Book Marathon ki. And now coming to the team that stood first, that's distributed the maximum number of books, Team Radharani team, with team leader Kamala Madhusudan Mataji, and they have done a total of 13,85,590 points. Please come up on stage, Mataji, with all your team members. Team member Manghat Prakash, Purnima K, Daksha Thakur, Soumya Rupa Mataji, Jagdhatri Mataji, Leelavati Mataji, Deepti Sahu and Dakshi Mataji. That is Kamala Madhusudan Mataji, the team leader of Radharani team. Please go, Mataji. this team, Team Radharani Mataji team, had stood second last year in book marathon, and this year they have stood first. One Srila Prabhupada, in one letter to his disciple Rameshwara, he writes, regarding sales figures, please endeavor in this way. The sale figure, this is the only solace in my life. When I hear that my books are selling so nicely, I become energetic like a young man. So last year, this is a comparative figure between the last year, the team that stood first, Jai Jagannath, they had done about 8.44 lakh. That was, of course, the peak of COVID. And we were just trying to get back to work, and we were not even sure whether we'll be able to do book distribution. And a similar thing was there a little bit this year, but then every year we have been doing well. And this year, the top team has done 13.85 lakh points. Every year, we also acknowledge the 2 best distributors of the teams that have crossed 1 lakh Lakshmi points, and the team leader is asked to give those names. And the team leaders have always found it difficult to give the names of 2 best distributors, because many times team leaders say, I have all my 8 members as best distributors. So how can I give the names of 2? But because we have restricted it to 2, so this year about 14 teams have crossed 1 lakh Lakshmi points. And following is the list of 2 best distributors that the team leaders have given. I'm sure there must be more, but these are the names. So I will display the list, and I request all the devotees to please come up on this side and receive your prizes from Sri Chanchalapati Prabhu. So team Radharani Mataji, the team lead is there. The 2 best distributors, Mangat Prakash ji and Srimati Daksha Thakur. Please come up to receive your prizes. Next team, Abhiram Das. The team members Alagappan and Chandrasekhar are the 2 best distributors. Gaurhari team, Vishnu Duta Das and Kuru Nandan Das. Panchajanya team, Nalini Rani Soboro and Shri Purandara Das. And Panagashayana's team, Govindaraj Gopal Das and Nanda Kishore. Please come up on the stage. You can come up in any order and receive your prizes. Next set of devotees may please come up. Srinivas Govinda team, who stood 6th, Manjunath Reddy and Raj Bhupal. Krishna Consciousness team, Deena Mataji and Shilpa Mataji. Please come up on the stage. Tirumala team with team lead Balagovinda Prabhu. The best distributors Sri Hari and Chaitra. Bhakta Hanuman team with Aprameya Ram Prabhu as the team lead, Muthu Krishnan and Shivaram, and Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna team, Mitravinda Mataji as the team lead, Lokabandhu Prabhu and Shanta Lakshmi Devi Mataji. Please come up on stage. Okay, we will finish the other 4 teams also. KGF, Lord Krishna's friend with team lead Govinda Kirtan Prabhu. The best distributors Ramesh Prabhu and Praveen Naidu. Harinam Sankirtan team with Govinda Kirtan Prabhu. Again, he has two teams. Karunamayi Devi Mataji and Venkatesh Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada Sena team with Sunanda Hari Prabhu as the team lead. The best distributors Prakash and Siddharth Prabhu, and Bhakta Vatsala Prahlad Narsimha team with Aprameya Rama Prabhu as the team lead, Akshay and Rupesh as the best distributors. Please come up on the stage. With this, we complete the two best distributors category. Please give a big round of applause. These are the best distributors in the teams who have sold more than 1 lakh coins. The next category, bulk booking by marathon teams. So there are two teams, the Radharani team and Gaurhari team, who have distributed 2,000 Bhagavad Gitas at one go. So these are the bulk bookings, the largest bulk bookings. So I request the team member, Jagdhatri Devi Mataji of Radharani team and Vishnuta Prabhu of Gaurhari team, to please come on stage and receive your prizes. They have managed to sell these many number of Gitas. They're all Gita bulk booking, English and Kannada mixed, to one party. Srila Prabhupada ki. Next category, the maximum number of sets. Sets are as in Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita sets of 18 volumes and 11 volumes. 9 volumes. So these are the sets. Jai Jagannath team is the winner with a total of 46 sets of Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita combined. And Prabhupada Dasas have distributed 35 sets. I request one member from their team to please come up and receive the prize. And so from Jai Jagannath team, one member may please come up. And from Prabhupada Dasa Anudasa team, Sai Prakash K, one member may please come up and receive the prizes. We also have a special category of the top 5 teams who have won this year during the year-long marathon. If you remember, we are also doing the year-long marathon. So we have 5 teams and we'll shortly come to that categories soon. These are the Srila Prabhupada biography books that were distributed by different teams. Gaurhari team distributed 42 Srila Prabhupada biography books, and like that, Prabhupada Dasanugas 35. Somehow I don't have, the total is missing here, but 70, 80, 90, about 150 biographies of Prabhupada. These are the top performing teams in the last 3 years. If you can see them, Radharani team, they have come second in 2019. Again, they stood second, and this year they have stood first. Jai Jagannath team, yes, a big round of applause. So, Jai Jagannath team, they stood fourth and then first last year, and this year still in the top with the second position. Chaitanya's family, third and fifth. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, fifth and 10th. Panchajanya, first, 9th and 4th. And Harinam Sankirtan, 10, 4 and 12. Just some data for devotees to know how the teams have been doing. Now, another very important category. Srila Prabhupada book distribution shouldn't be just limited to these 2 years of book marathon, these 2 months of book marathon. Of course, these 2 months are the most important months. And we put in extra effort, extra energy, but Prabhupada will be very pleased if we are distributing his books all around the year. And in fact, that's what was happening in the West during that time, and even always. So about 2 years back, we started this, the whole year book marathon. And so this year also, you will be happy to know that many teams have been putting in effort and distributing Srila Prabhupada books all throughout the year. So the team that stood fifth, I request, because we're running out of time, I request only the team lead or one member from the team to please come up on the stage and receive the prize. The team Harinam Sankirtan with team lead Govinda Kirtan Prabhu. They have distributed for the whole year 50,680 worth of books with these team members: Venkatesh, Hare Ram Das, Kiran, Karna Mai Mataji and Srinivas Murthy. So Govinda Kirtan Prabhu. So they have distributed books for the last 10 months. And that's definitely an effort. Okay, if the other team members are also there, please come up on the stage. Since some of them have come. The fourth prize goes to team Srinivas Govinda with Raj Bhupal Naggowda as the team lead. And they have done 52,900 points worth of books. And he alone has done all this book distribution. This is the fourth prize. This devotee, Prabhu, Raj Bhupal Prabhu, has alone done book distribution in the last 10 months. The third prize for the year-long book distribution goes to Team Sudarshan Narsimha with team leader Jaisaki Devi Mataji. Please come up on stage with your team members. 1,18,000 points. Team members Palika Radha, if team members are here close by, please come up. Yeah, please come. Palika Radha Mataji, Rati Rupa Mataji, Shri Priya Mataji, Dr. Sunaina Mataji, Geeta Mataji, Rajendra Prabhu, Kumar Prabhu and Rashmi Matajis. Whole year book marathon. We'll be closing in another 5 to 10 minutes. All these devotees have been putting in their effort all throughout the year in distributing Srila Prabhupada books. Big round of applause to them. They have next, the second prize goes to the team that stood first this year in the book marathon, Team Radharani. With team leader, there's a different team leader for their annual distribution. Team leader Bhavana Mataji, please come up on the stage to collect your prize. And with team members Radha Mai Devi Dasi, Jagdatri Mataji, Purnima Kallal Mataji, Priya Prakash Mataji, Sheetal Shah Mataji, Harisakhi Mataji, Akanksha Mataji and Vidula Mane. If these team members have not come up on the stage yet, you may please come up on the stage. Because one time all the Matajis have come up. If there are any new team members, please come up on the stage. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada Book Marathon ki. And now so this team did 1,22,000 points, and the team that stood first is Team Chaitanya Family with team leader Panaga Shaina Prabhu, and they have done 2,39,505 points. Request the team members to come up. Narakesri Prabhu, Shrikant Prabhu, Kamalakshi Mataji, Guru Siddhappa Mataji, Suresh, Govindaraj, Gopala Prabhu, Harsha Prabhu and Raju Prabhu. Please come up on the stage. A big round of applause for all of them. They've put in their effort for doing book distribution all throughout the year. So these 5 teams put together have done a total of 5,83,968 worth of book distribution. So almost about 6 lakhs worth of books sold in the last 10 months all around the year. So this is definitely very encouraging. It was during the COVID times, we had COVID the entire year, that these teams and many more have gone out on the streets and done this much book distribution. Very encouraging. So Prabhupada says, go on selling books, that is my desire. Our main business is to distribute my books, and people will come gradually. Everything should be done for that purpose. So our special appreciation, with this we are almost coming to the close, our special appreciation to the team, Venkatesh N, Sales and Back Office, Ranganath BS, Purchase, Madhu NM, Stores, and this is the SST team, all led and directed by Sri Ratnangada Govinda Prabhu. Ratnangada Govinda Prabhu is here in the front. Request Prabhu to please stand. And of course, everybody knows Ratnangada Prabhu, but we're very fortunate and happy to have him here in ISKCON Bangalore serving in the book division. And this is the entire team, and I request all these staff also to come up on the stage. Please come up one by one. Sales team, Samal K, Mahadev Swami, Krishna Ji, Santosh P, Harish Kumar B, Sampat Kumar, Praveen S, Bharat L, Rangaswamy J, Nagesh HS. Please keep coming. Hanumant Raju K. Sales team, purchase stores and quality teams, Nagaraj K, Krishna R, Shubha, Sunil, Prem Kumar, Chetan, Uday, Sunil, Sudhakar, Ashok, Santosh, Rakshit, Uchirappa, and Krishnan Ji and Harish Kumar B. This entire team has been working for 12 hours every day during the marathon period with no break, all 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Any more? Okay, big round of applause for them, the team that worked for 12 hours every day for the 2 month of book marathon. Ratnangada Prabhu, please come up. And special thanks to Suguna Krishna Prabhu. Suguna, come here. He is from Krishna Ashraya, who has been coordinating with the different Matajis and Prabhujis in coordinating the different happenings of the book marathon. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So welcome to an year-long book marathon starting today. Today, although the book marathon, the 2 months book marathon is ending, but we are starting the year-long book marathon. Prabhupada's desire, he once wrote in a letter, I was very pleased to see how you were working so hard last year to distribute so many books. There is no instance of religious books of philosophy being distributed in such magnitude in history. Now, go on enthusiastically and increase this book distribution unlimitedly. Srila Prabhupada ki. Just one last note. This year, all of you know, it's a very special year for us. We are observing the 125th anniversary year of Srila Prabhupada. And we have planned we have been doing and we are planning different activities to commemorate this 125th year. Prabhupada was born in 1896 and this is 125th birth year. So we are publishing biographies of Srila Prabhupada by popular authors in 6 different languages. You may remember a few years back we published the Mahasadhaka, a biography of Prabhupada in Kannada. So this year we are releasing 6 biographies together in English, in Hindi, in Telugu, in Tamil, Malayalam and Gujarati. So I request devotees to please along with the book distribution that you do, also plan and promote these biographies. And we are coming up with a revised edition of Mahasadhaka also. And Venkatesh would like to give a vote of thanks, and with that we end. So one last quote. Prabhupada said, he writes in a letter to Rameshwar Swami, each and every book distributor will go back to Godhead. And further Prabhupada says, I personally guarantee this. And then further he says, there is no doubt in this. Asamshaya, Krishna's words. Thank you. Venkatesh, he wants to thank some few devotees, so over to Venkatesh.
Hare Krishna. Although we have come to an end for this formal ending of this 2021, we are just about 10 months away for the next marathon. We are all geared up. Yes. Thank you. Prabhu, we are very grateful for the team at ISKCON, especially our Sri Madhu Pandit Prabhu on his very powerful message and his inputs on the first day. This has given us a lot of strength for us to do a better and better for every year. And also we thank especially our Vice President, Sri Chanchalapati Prabhu, for his continued guidance and inspiration, Prabhu. We are also very happy to get a lot of inputs from Sri Vasudev Keshav Prabhu on our whole book marathon, including our PPT which we saw today. And we had a lot of other back-end activities like designing of the banner, designing of books. So we got a lot of very good inputs and then support from Matajis. One is our Srimati Bhaktivedanta Mataji and also Chamari Mataji. And I would be very happy to see that whole book marathon team was totally charged up this year. And we had very, very few instances of coming back to us and complaining of any small issues. This was very happy to note that. And very happy to see that the warehouse team, which had to move about 5,000 carton boxes full of books. And each carton box was filled with about 20-25 kilos. And they had to move this from one location to another, then they had to transport it to other locations, to other temples, and then distribute to the team members. Very, very grateful to the team which had done a great job. And special mention to Madhu who did a great job on this. And we had our Mr. Ranganath who had his team ensured that whole books was available in time. We were actually worried about we might run out of stocks, but God, Lord's mercy, blessings, we had good stocks at every point of time. Thanks a lot to the whole team, and we hope that we do much better next year onwards. Thanks a lot. And for me personally, it is a greatest opportunity in my life to be a part of this very, very good festival of distributing books. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So with this, we conclude the Book Marathon 2021-22. Thank you once again. Thank you, Venkatesh. Thanks to all the devotees who have so enthusiastically come forward and participated this year in the book marathon in spite of the challenging situation that we were all in. And all the best to all the teams for continuing with the book distribution until the book marathon distribution begins next year. Thank you. Hare Krishna.